This is a snippet from the Chilling supporter stream we have on the channel. To be part of these types of conversations, join Patreon, YouTube membership, or become a Twitch sub.
So here comes the bombest idea question.
Okay.
Topic, whatever. So we were talking in the Discord while waiting for people's questions to get in, right?
Uh-huh.
So listen, this is good. This is a game changer.
Okay.
So you know Hearthstone.
Uh-huh.
Hearthstone is a game set within the Warcraft universe. Hearthstone also is themed based on WoW expansion or places.
Yeah.
Or raids.
Yeah.
If you implemented Hearthstone within major inns of WoW,
Yeah.
first of all, that would give you something to do in queue and whatever waiting. So that increases retention of players. Second of all of them are themed, the expansions. Mm-hmm. So technically, you could have each expansion of Hearthstone be able to be played permanently within certain locations. Like Naxxramas would obviously be in Undercity.
Yeah.
Gadget Sand would be in Tanaris, and so on.
Yeah.
Because there's an inn, right?
Yes.
So and then you can play with players immediately within the inn.
Yeah.
It's also part of the economy. Because just like you have to buy the cards in Hearthstone, you can use in-game gold, which would obviously be the WoW token, to do so also, which would make the economy go.
Yeah.
Next one is different cards. Their acquisition could be through either paying, just like I said, or through the relevant content to them, like farming transmog, So they would drop a card. Just like in Lost Ark, where you have the sets and so on.
Yeah.
Cards. So you would have this whole system that's within the game that also goes outside of the game and reinvigorates the world and the old dungeons.
I mean, personally, I think we've spoken about this before. I just quickly want to say, Brittany, okay, your go-kart. Matthew, most important question, what am I going to cook on the barbecue? I have ribeye steak that's going on the barbecue, as well as buffalo wings.
I can agree with that. That's a bomb question for a bomb suggestion for a meal.
And then, what the fuck, not Coke, not Pepsi Max. Pepsi Max has caffeine in it, and there is no Pepsi version of this. So if you look there, no sugar, no caffeine. Which is literally what I'm after. I don't want caffeine. I haven't drank coffee in weeks. I haven't drank Pepsi in weeks because I don't want the caffeine from that. So that's why. Andy, on to your suggestion.
There's more.
Yeah, but I want to focus just on what you said so far.
Yeah.
So the card system, the ability to open or include the open world of World of Warcraft into it. So, for example, imagine if you could get different board themes that drops from different types of content within the game. So, for example, when you when you play the Naxxramas expansion, but if you do Naxxramas, you have the ability to bosses will sometimes drop different themes. So you can change the theme of your board, and you can maybe change the look of your cards based on things that drop. Yeah, this is exactly what I'm saying. You're basically including the whole world of Warcraft into Hearthstone, whilst also including Hearthstone into World of Warcraft, giving people ample things to do and have fun with. Because you could also build this system where if you want to challenge another player, you and the other player can always show up at the board and just sit on opposite ends and go play,
And that's not all. It would be also, as a business, it would also be viable because, as Blizzard likes to do, seasons, right?
Yeah.
So if you had seasons of Hearthstone content rotating along with seasons of dungeons and content like that, like Time Walking and so, since they're implementing past dungeons into the rotation, they could align it so people are concentrated with the Hearthstone and the dungeons and the raid content at certain place at certain point of time. So some people would also sub for it to get some of the appearances and whatever.
I mean, of course.
So it satisfies collectors, players of Hearthstone, and players of WoW at the same time.
I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I love that idea. Paul, how you doing, by the way, brother? Johnny, how you doing? Matthew, Dan, how you doing? I hope everyone is doing well. We are discussing, myself and Andy, are discussing the idea of merging Hearthstone into World of Warcraft. Not replacing Hearthstone. You can still play it outside of the game on your own as you do now, but including Hearthstone into World of Warcraft as a complete playable game within World of Warcraft. And you can even link it. So it's basically just, it gives you a different way of logging into Hearthstone. So rather than clicking the Play Now button, you can literally just go into an inn in World of Warcraft and play now, and you'll still log into Hearthstone through the inn. Personally, I think that would be insane, Andy. But I also think I think that could be... Wait, so are you saying you play a different kind of Hearthstone in WoW, or are you saying you play the same Hearthstone?
Same one.
Yeah, all right, you and I agree. Here's what I would go even further with this idea. Included in combat as a more reliable, long-term, quote-unquote, borrowed power system. So, say out of all the cards that you collect, the cards not only have a playability within Hearthstone, but you can also have a collection of, say, 5 or 6 different cards bound to your character, right? And they will do fun things in the open world, not power related. That's why I said quote-unquote borrowed power. So they do fun things in the open world. So, for example, one card can enable you to jump really high, right? Another one you can pop every 2 minutes to run really fast or something like that. They're completely disabled in dungeons and content that, they could break the game with.
Yeah.
But they're sort of... It gives you something that these cards make it really cool to be sort of like to have it on your character as well. Just a sort of a fun thing for players to do and play around with that is a more casual experience. Because what you're literally describing here, Andy, is one of those casual pieces of content that I think World of Warcraft so desperately needs right now.
Yeah. And also, you said it, but I was going to say it, that how Lost Ark does card sets that give you bonuses.
Yeah.
Where you set open world, you could also have cosmetic options. Where, you have, if you have a Naxxramas set, your eyes are glowing like Death Knight. And so on. It's so easy.
Dude, you could do so much with it. And all of that is casual content. It's literally... And you've already designed the fucking game, right? It's not like you have to...
Both games already exist, yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to design it from the ground up. You're literally just adding it to the game. And then giving people stuff that they could actually farm there.
Yeah. And it also, how it's basically seems like Hearthstone expansions or whatever themes are disconnected from how the things are presented in WoW.
Mm-hmm.
It would also connect the lore of the two games, where one basically checks the other one for, how things look or are supposed to look.
Yeah.
So even if the games are developed by two teams, they check each other.
Because the funny thing is, you're mentioning that now, but the funny thing is the players of Hearthstone actually love the lore of every single Hearthstone expansion. Because the Hearthstone expansion stories are actually really cool, even though it's not even about story. People really enjoy the story that the Hearthstone expansion style. So I think that writing team, sort of being part of the overall WoW writing team, could be a good idea. Dan, what we're talking about here is basically giving people 3 ways of acquiring all the cards in the game. The first option is the whale option, where people spend $200 and they get all the cards. Yeah? The second option is just by playing the game and hoping that you get the points to buy the cards. The third option is paying the subscription to World of Warcraft and then literally go finding the cards in the game. So as you do the content that is relevant to the specific set that you're looking for, you have a chance to get all the cards from the bosses and from the content that you're doing. So
you can't even call it pay to win, because Hearthstone is already pay to win, first of all.
True.
Second of all, Hearthstone is by pack, right? But subbing to WoW is a guaranteed source of money.
Yeah.
Right? It's not as volatile.
True.
So I think it just makes perfect sense to implement this.
Dan, they would not lose money, they would gain money. And they would gain a shit ton of it. Especially when you include cosmetic options with those cards. Do you know how many... Everything in World of Warcraft is attainable by simply playing the game. We all know that. It's more difficult. There's ways to skip the game. And people spend shit tons of money to actually skip the fucking game. And that's the point that we're making here. Is if you did this, you would also convince a lot of pure World of Warcraft players who now want the cosmetic items from these cards, who maybe don't want to farm the content to get the card sets, to just spend the money. They just buy the card decks, because they don't actually want to play Hearthstone, but they do want the cosmetic options that the Hearthstone decks provide them. So you are effectively just growing the audience of World of Warcraft. Plus, there are a ton of people that play Hearthstone that do not pay any money for cards. Now, if you told them that, hey, you can play World of Warcraft purely, but like you can play Hearthstone and get all the cards simply by paying a $15 a month sub, I think there's a lot of people that are going to go, okay, well, fuck it. I'll pay $15 a month and I'll get all the cards. I'll just go farm them in the game.
Yeah. Plus, if the games are interconnected, you aren't really forced to play WoW if you already played Hearthstone without paying.
Yeah.
You can just keep going as you did.
It just makes it more fun. Personally, I don't see why they wouldn't do that, because I do think at the end of the day, yes, maybe you lose a little bit of money, but you end up gaining so much favor with the player base. Because now your players have something to do. World of Warcraft finally has some kind of casual system that casuals can actually enjoy. And it gives you so many more options for transmogs and stuff like that in World of Warcraft. Cosmetic items in World of Warcraft that you wouldn't previously have had. So ultimately, I think it could only work. I don't see a single way in which this would be a bad idea.
Yeah, there's also so many cool things like NPC interactions that you could do if you have a card set, like they say an additional line or whatever, like small Easter eggs. It just makes the world more like alive or whatever.
Imagine if you could challenge NPCs in the game, like specific NPCs in the game, to Hearthstone matches, and that could be quest lines that you introduce in World of Warcraft where, you know, you have to go through like the entire game and challenge every single NPC.
Well, yeah, that's the Hearthstone expansions. That's why they are tied to the content they're in, right?
But I'm saying you can do even
it.
more. I'm saying you can do even more rather than just the ones that's in the Hearthstone expansions. You could legitimately include like so many more NPCs. So you could have basically mini seasons, sort of casual seasons within the normal seasons. You know, where you just sort of give people a new way to gain a new achievement or some shit.
They're obviously going to keep developing the game, so eventually it will come to that.
Yeah.
That's what I meant, like, at first.
Integrate Hearthstone into WoW, but they already got Hearthstone right, and that integration should not be that hard. Adelia, how are you doing?